Buongiorno, ciao a tutti, come state? Oggi parleremo di Italia. Hey guys, it's me, Kate, Extreme Achiever, internationally. And this is episode 11 of the podcast Adventures of a Curious Linguist. And as you noticed, I started this episode in Italian, and today this is all about Italy and my very first experience in Italy. And as you may remember from my previous episodes, I was talking about Spain. Well, my very first impression about Italy was not the best, because there were Italian teenagers that were super annoying. So what happened here? I set a goal to learn Spanish and Italian within 2 years. How I did it, I promise I'll share with you and videos dedicated to language learning. But here's the thing. I decided to learn Italian within a semester, like 3 4 months, and then repeat my experience with Spain. So just go to Italy, practice Italian there, high level, come back and continue speaking it. Here's the trick. I couldn't go to Rome because it was quite expensive and I was earning my own bread, so I was paying for it and I should be very wise how I would spend my money. So I followed my friend's advice and decided to go to school in Calabria. And some of my Italian friends were like, "Are you nuts? You're going to learn this language, the language of Dante. There, Calabria?" And I said, yes. What's wrong with that? I'm going to Calabria and I'm going to enjoy the seaside and the language and adventures. Well, the trick was that having this idea of Italy being a beautiful country with rich history, amazing food, being in the shape of a bird, where Rome was in the middle, in the center, and Calabria, especially Reggio di Calabria, was just like on the tip. I thought that this trip would take me just a few hours by train or by bus. Hardly no. Just a few days before my flight to Rome, I discovered that by train it would take me the whole night and a few hours more. And the train tickets were insanely expensive. It was like almost 10 years ago, and trains in Italy were more expensive. Flights, and I believe it's like this, right? And I was just appalled because I realized that I had to get another ticket, like flight ticket from Rome to Reggio, and flights were not frequent. Well, I was lucky to get this flight on the same day when I was arriving in Rome, but still, I was a bit worried. I was flying Moscow, Brussels, Brussels, Rome, Rome, Reggio. A little bit too much, isn't it? Anyways, I got on the plane to Brussels, and there we got a little bit delayed. I started chatting with different people, and there I bumped a lovely person. His name was Roma, and we were laughing that Roma was going to Roma because Rome in Italian is Roma, so Roma a Roma, like Roma in Roma. And this guy was also learning to practice his Italian. I was hairstylist, so Italy, obviously, fashion. And we had a lovely chat. And when we arrived at Fiammicino, there we needed to figure out how for me, well, to take all my bags and go and catch a regional flight, and for him to go, well, either on Express, Da Vinci Express, to go to Rome, somewhere else. It was really funny because that was the first time when we both were speaking Italian in Italy. And to be honest, I had so many discoveries as given I was learning on my own. So I was not sure about some of, well, sounds. I was learning on the spot. Thus, we managed somehow to grab tickets for Roma, to go to Roma, and well, we made our farewell. He took my number, he took my email, and guess what? He disappeared going to Rome. Well, I, my way, caught the flight to Reggio, and when I was flying, I was so excited that when we were descending and I saw the beautiful blue water, just like on our airplane, there's blue water, mountains, I was careless to properly close my table so that the table hit me, my nose, that I almost got bleeding. Not like floods, but a little bit. But it didn't disturb me because I was so excited to land there. It was so beautiful, mesmerizing. As soon as I arrived, I was looking for my guides. There was a whole story to get an apartment, and I must say that if you ever want to get an apartment in a country where you go for the first time, especially if you're going with school or university, you gotta be careful. Because I first got in touch with one lady who put a triple price, I'm not kidding, a triple price for my apartment, like for a room, not just a whole apartment, for a room. The room was extremely far away from the university. And eventually, when I got in touch with the guys who were also accredited with the university, the agency, a local agency, they gave me a flat just across the street of the university, just like 2 blocks away. So literally, as soon as you open the door, you can see just right there, right, the university. And this played an important role a few months later. I'll show you later in one of the episodes. Anyways, I was looking for them. And I saw sort of like, there's like mummies. I mean, what I mean by it, like mummy, that they had lots of children. Well, children, well, of age between 18 and 25, mostly girls, who would just come into them and, oh yeah, say do, so trying to speak. And that was crazy because I was staying there. Buongiorno, ciao, come stai? Starting speaking in my very first long proper dialogue in Italian and being aware of that. It was ecstatic. Like I was feeling like epiphany, euphoria, whatever you call it. And when we got in the car, these guys were going with us, yeah, like showing us the way where our apartments were. We were chatting with girls, and everybody was saying, "Yeah, I studied like Italian like for 2 years, 3 years, 6 years." And here I was, and I was afraid to say that it was just a few months, like 3, 4 months. I was like around a year, and they were like, "Really? Like you sound like the way you speak, like as if you've been studying for a few years." And like, oh my God. So I realized that I had to conceal the truth because nobody would believe me. Anyways, when I got to the apartment and I started talking about all the paperwork, yeah, with one of the agents, I realized that I was mixing Italian and Spanish. There was some sort of like Spagnolino. And I had to be very careful about it because even though the agents were, well, getting me, I had an exam in 3 days, like entrance exam, like when you have oral exam and writing, very similar to what I had in Spain. And I decided, okay, from that moment, no Spanish, no English, like no Russian, no let's say nothing, no Portuguese, yeah, just Italian. And guess what? As soon as I was left alone, because other flatmates still didn't arrive, I decided to go and fetch some food. As soon as I opened the door of my apartment and stepped out the street, a car stopped in front of me, and a local guy was shouting something at me. Something about Bella, so something like probably an invitation to hop in his car and just go around. I got so scared. I tried to open the door to my apartment. I failed. So I had to walk, and the car was just following me. And the guy was continuing saying something. When I said, non lo so, non capisco. So he started yelling something, probably cursing at me, but eventually he, well, drove away. But that was so scary for me because being there alone, not understanding your cazzo, that was quite an experience. Well, what happened later, I'll share with you in the following episodes and following videos. For now, share your stories, share your adventures, linguistic discoveries. Don't forget hashtag Amolingua while posting on social media, and the best stories we are going to share on our social media channels. Ciao!